Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum dum dum. Dum 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 dum. Yeah, till I collapse, I'm spilling these raps long as you feel them. To the day that I drop, you never say that I'm not killing them. Cause when I am not, then I'ma stop giving them. I am not hip hop, and I'm just not Eminem. Subliminal thoughts in the hip hop women on the webs. I completely forgot the song. Music is like magic. There's a certain feeling you get when you reel and you spit, and people are feeling your shit. This is your moment. And every single minute you spent trying to hold on to it, cause you may never get it again. So while you're in it, try to get as much of it as you can. And when your run is over, just admit when it's in, it's in. Cause I'm at the end of my wits, but I have the shit that gets in. I got a list. Here's a list of all the shit that gets in. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada Corrupt, Nas, and Demi. So in this industry, I'm the cause of a lot of envy. And if I'm not put on this list, this shit does not offend me. Alright, let me stop. How you guys doing today? It is I, a nice and cozy Jace, the pickup scientist. How you doing? How you doing? I'm back to spit some more game. TikTok been playing with me and shit. But it's fine. We move. We move and we win. Yes, it is I, your favorite scientist. In case you were wondering, I am Nigerian. So I am an expert on the Omale situation. But yeah, you know what it is, baby. Ask me all the questions you want to pertaining to all things relationships, social dynamics, dating, pickup artistry, seduction, influence, and manipulation of all kind. I am the guy you come to know all those things in their nice, nuanced detail. Okay? Alright. Ask away. How are we doing today, though? It's a beautiful Saturday. It's been a sunny day. I've been out here doing all kinds of outside stuff. It's been cool for me, though. How you guys doing? Man's really been on this live motion recently. I respect it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doing my thing. How you doing, Kay? I already missed you guys, man, for real. Man, Eminem used to have a chokehold on me back in the day. He definitely did. When I was a teenager, fresh out of high school, man, it was M and Wheezy and M and Wheezy, and that's all I really cared about, to be honest. Everybody else is a joke, in my opinion. Shout out to M, shout out to Wheezy. They're still, in my opinion, still two of the greatest rappers to ever do it, honestly. Hi, what do you do? Hold on, let me make the letters bigger so I can see everybody nice and well. There we go. Hi, what do you do if your woman doesn't understand her mistakes? Of course she does understand her mistakes. She just doesn't respect you enough to admit that she does. That's really what it is. Of course she does. Women aren't dumb. Don't ever allow yourself to think for a second that the creature we're dealing with, aka women, are somehow lacking in some kind of a mental capability. They're very intelligent creatures. They are. They just act dumb sometimes to throw you off. So it's a respect issue there for you, my friend. She does understand her mistakes, I promise. Jace the rapper. Indeed. Everybody buy my new album. My new album. How you doing, San Andreas? What's going on, John? I didn't see you here yesterday. Hey, Don is back. What's up? Is it true women only respect when you allow them in a certain way? Allow them to do what? Well, honestly, in general, yes. As long as you have some kind of a consequence around what it is you're doing with her or allowing her to do around you, then yeah, that's when the respect happens. It's when you allow them to just do whatever that, things got out of whack. You know how that works. Bless my brother, just came from the gym. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Hit the gym, fellas. Go out there and look as healthy and as sexy as you possibly can. It is very important, all right? Let's see. Gonna oil you up. Oh, now. Oh, pause, son. Pause. Heavy pause on that. Waiting for your advice on the DM I sent you. I didn't open it yet, did I? You know what? Hold on. Is there a way I can leave here for a second to go read that real quick? I'm probably not. But I will check it out, though. I promise you I will check it out. I just had a fucking super busy day. Last night I was busy. This morning I was managing, like, all these TikTok-related things. TikTok been trying to fight me, bro. But it's fine. I'm winning. I will go against this app and win. I promise you guys. But yeah, I will check that out for sure. Yeah, I know that she does that to avoid consequences, but how do I deal with it? You do things to increase the amount of respect that you have in her eyes. That's really what it comes down to. If she's going out of her way to play dumb with you, make sure you get to the point of respect in her mind where she can't deny what it is you're saying. The way you do that is to begin to take massive risks with her. Okay, the more risks you take with her, the better. Take risks with her, take risks with your own life. Do things that make her want to earn, make her want to give you more respect. Does that make sense? Take risks. Risk and respect are closely related to each other. How's your Saturday going? Very good, man. I have had maybe 2.5 hours of sleep, but regardless, I've done a lot. I've had a few things get derailed, but hey, we still move. Everything's still going well. I'm happy about that. Please bring your boy up this live. Sure, why not? Keep that in mind. I will, though, definitely later on. Let me get through this early wave of questions and stuff. I was here yesterday. I was just busy doing something, so I was only able to listen. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I'm happy you were here, though. Damn, brother, the Kylie Jenner disease is everywhere. Kylie Jenner disease? Is it everywhere? It has gotten worse in the last few years, I would say. But it definitely feels like it's most women, though, doesn't it? It definitely feels like it is most women. They removed your audio in some videos, too, bro. TikTok is an op. For real. But it's fine. It's fine. I ain't worried about that. I know. I got something for their ass. I know exactly how to treat that. I told you guys, I just gotta wait my turn for things to turn around for me on this app, and I'm getting to that point. So yes, it's getting there. It's getting there. TikTok been weird again. Y'all know, man. How you doing, Ikari? What's going on? What if you give a compliance test and she rejects it? What do? You stop showing her interest. You withdraw your time and attention. It's very important to do that. It's very important to do that. Very, very important. If you keep giving her time and attention, even while she's showing you clear lack of following your lead, showing you clear lack of an ability to give you compliance, you're going to mess up. You're going to mess up your own respect and status in her eyes. It's very important that you withdraw all your time and attention the moment you see behavior that you don't want to see. All right, very important. Let's see. We're about to run game on me again and bait and switch. Nah, I'll definitely bring you on. No problem. Don't worry. Let me see what's going on here. Where is my? There we go. Put that on there. Oh, is that so? All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Like the live. Share the live. Let's get this up. Let's see. What's the best way to guide your girl to not make self-destructive decisions? I would say the best way to do that, in my honest opinion, is to make sure that you're guiding her in the terms of like the standards you give her. The self-destruction will naturally go away if you get her on the path to self-discovery, to self-righteousness. Give her specific instructions of things that she has to do probably on a daily basis that'll get her closer to being the kind of girl that you want her to be. That's what's important here. You got to make sure that in all things that you're doing, with her, around her, get her in the direction that you want her to go. That's how you do it. You don't tell her what not to do until she does it and you correct her. But in the meantime, make sure you're just guiding her in the correct direction. Does that make sense? Very important to do that. How would you run game to get a girl and her friend? You would first get one of them and then you will get the friend. So it's easier to get the friend when you have the pre-selection from getting the first girl. When you have the first girl, then you get the friend. Don't think about it like running game on both of them. Think about it like running game on one girl at a time. It'll be easier for you to do it that way. Let's see. Will it affect my confidence if I try that for every situation with a girl? There is a way to... Hold on. Yeah, I didn't get the rest of that. Type that again for me. What's the best question to make her prove herself to you after using the R&B resting bitch face opener? It depends. I would say I would just go in with something simple. It doesn't have to be a massive compliance test because you've already done the job of creating tension by using that opener. Once you go, you have the most beautiful resting bitch I've ever seen before or in my life, that's enough to induce enough tension to get her attention. For From that point on, just go, what's your name? She'll give you her name, you give her your name back, and then you can go for another lighter compliance. So maybe something like, so what are you doing around here? Like, why haven't I seen you before? Who are you? Something a little more interrogating, but a little more aggressive, but again, with a little more playfulness behind it. Obviously, you don't want to make it sound like you're chasing her away or doing something bad or whatever the case may be. You just want to make sure that she knows that you're the one leading the conversation. And then just ask her a question like pertaining to the conversation itself. What are you doing here? Who you're with? What are you up to? What are you doing with your day? And then go from there. Whatever she answers, you can tease that. Again, where are you going? What are you up to? Oh, I'm actually going to go meet a few of my friends. Oh, I see. You're about to go rob a bank, aren't you? You and your friends. That's your little plan. No, I wish. Go from there. It's all flirting, baby. It's all flirting. I'm in shape, and a lot of women were coming around me while I was studying. Did I read that correctly? What the hell does one have to do with the other? Sorry, bad typing. Type it again. I was complying. I already answered. I said to a girl, I don't like you when you don't smile. All she heard was, I don't like you. That makes sense. That if you're dealing with one of those Kylie Jenner type chicks, that's exactly what you should be expecting. If you say that to a hotter girl, I mean, to be honest, it's not even that great a line. I don't like you when you don't smile is a little too pushy, in my opinion. I would say, I wouldn't even go around that. I would say it more like, you look more beautiful when you smile, right? Don't attach it to your qualification just yet. You can start by saying, I think you look a lot more beautiful when you smile, or like you have a beautiful smile, you should do it more often, something like that. And then later on in the conversation, then you can be like, I actually prefer when you're being smiley, or something like that, right? But yeah, regardless, you can't get away with that with a girl that doesn't have a certain level of self-esteem. You know what I mean? Can you date 10s as a beginner? Not that you can't. It's just going to be hard to maintain. It's going to be hard to pull off. It's going to be hard to maintain. Most of the time, beginners don't have the level of self-esteem and the self-belief that they need to get a 10. Because it's really just a self-belief thing. It's a matter of how much belief you have in yourself. Once you figure that out, it's pretty much easy from there. You know what I mean? Will it affect my self-confidence if I try to fix things with every girl I talk to? So fix things as in how? Like, what are we talking about? When we say fix things, what exactly are you talking about? I don't know what that means. How do you handle a lady that you are her first having FOMO? Guys, I know a lot of you don't have English as your first language, but you gotta help me out here, man. Commas, periods, quotation marks, those all help you better. How to handle a lady that you are her first having FOMO. Like, maybe how to handle a lady that you are her first. If that's one thing, like she's a virgin, that's cool. I don't get what the having FOMO part has anything to do with that. Like, I don't get that. Would you ever date a single mom? And if you did, how would you make it work so the focus is on you, not solely on the children? So, dating a single mom, you have to put in your head, first of all, it can't be something that's like a forever thing. You can't treat it like it's a long-term thing, right? Single moms are good for some things, but just not good for a lot of other things. If you're going to date a single mom, okay, first of all, let's get this straight. If the only options you feel like you have is single moms, you've already fucked up, right? Because you don't even have the correct mindset going into dating single moms. You want to be able to date single moms when you also have the ability to date women that aren't single moms. Does that make sense? If you get into the point where, you feel like the only options you can have or the only options you have are single moms, probably doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing. It's a mindset thing. Secondly, if you are going to date a single mom, you got to treat her like a nice snack you have on the side. Does that make sense? You can't treat her like she's the most important thing to you. I mean, you can't treat any woman like that regardless. But you have to treat her, to begin with, like she's not the priority in your roster. Because the reason a lot of guys messed up with dating single moms is that they try to make things work with them. And every time you try to make things work with a single mom, one of two things happens. One, either she relegates you to stepdaddy duties, right? Which inevitably makes you lesser than the kid anyway. And then two, she ends up not respecting you anyway. Because here's the thing about single mom people don't seem to understand. They themselves know that they're not a catch, right? They know that they have kids and that makes them less desirable. So if you treat them like they're this goddess or some kind, or you make them like, you start planning out the future with them, blah, blah, they're instantly going to lose respect for you. Because you're going to be like, what are you doing? Like, I can't even respect you as a man. Like, come on. So be careful with that whole single mom thing. The playfulness is going to scoop these girls up. The self-belief as your foundation is everything for her. I just noticed that today when I went outside. Makes approaching so much easier and more natural. Indeed. When you expect good things to happen, they will. Some game on spicing things up in general, becoming the main attraction and making people miss you. Well, it comes down to what I keep talking about all the time, which is tension. Just creating tension. The more tension you create, the better. The more anxiety you make her feel, the more emotional and psychological investment that she will have in you. That is how it works, right? It's not a matter of doing anything more than that. It's literally just more tension, conflict resolution, more conflict, less resolution, and you'll be fine. Let's see. How do you handle a lady that you are first having the fear of missing out? Okay. You are first. You are her first. Is that what you mean? And having the fear of missing out. Are you the one having the fear of missing out? I'm sorry, that doesn't help too much, Jay. Does anyone understand Jay? What does Jay mean? Help Jay out for me for a second. In the meantime, how do you use silence to create tension during conversation? Tip and examples. Well, it's one of the many ways you can use to create tension, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to do it right after you give her a compliance test and then she complies. So for instance, let's say you're in the middle of a conversation, you ask her a hard-hitting, open-ended question. That is something that makes it look like you care about the answer and she has to impress you with the answer she gives you. So for instance, you ask her something like, what's your relationship like with your father, right? That's a question that she has to answer the correct way or she might lose respect for you. Does that make sense? If that's the case, then it's a good idea that while she's answering and right after she's done answering, you give her silence. The more silence you give her, the better. Because when you're being silent, whenever she is done answering the question, she's going to feel the tension of like, oh, I hope I said the right thing. That might even make her want to keep talking too because she wants to fill up that void. Does that make sense? That's I think the best way to use silence to create tension. When I say fix things, I mean whenever I talk to a girl. Okay? So you fix things, you talk to a girl, what things are you fixing though? Like, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, what do you mean, when you're talking to a girl, what things are you trying to fix? Right? Don't want to let them go when they are not reciprocal. Oh, okay. I always see them as a problem I can solve. Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So what you're actually saying is, do you always have to make everything go well? No, absolutely not. Like, you have to be okay with, failure, rejection, all that stuff. Besides, none of it is really permanent anyway. So all the girls you're too scared to let go of, there's a good chance they all come back anyway. That's just how it works. You don't have to think about it like, hold on, I'm getting a little hot here. You don't have to think about it like, oh, you have to fix every single thing, or else that somehow, means that you're a failure or whatever. And yes, it does, if I remember your first question correctly, it does affect your confidence to some degree. Because if, for whatever reason, right, you keep going out of your way to try to fix every single relationship and you don't know when to cut it off, yes, you're going to become a naturally needy, more people-pleasing type of person. It's not going to benefit you anything if that's exactly what you're doing, right? But for the most part, like, it's going to be one of those things that's depending on you. I can't give you any advice to make this advice like any more straightforward or better, because it comes down to who you are and your own personality type. If you believe that in that particular situation it's worth it to pursue, sure. And again, it's going to be dependent on you. I can't tell you what, line to not cross. You're going to have to set that for yourself. You're going to have to figure out what to you is worth it, what to you is not, what to you is too much time, what to you is not, and then go from there. Go from there. But for the most part, yeah, you can't. You're not supposed to be trying to fix every single thing. You should be dropping a lot more girls than you accept. That's just how it should work. A lot of girls should just naturally fall off. That's why it's like to some degree a massive numbers game. How do you build a roster from scratch? You start talking to a lot of girls. A lot of girls. Literally. It's not that complex. There's no trick to it. There's no hidden message or secret to it. It's literally take your two legs, right? Like here's your left leg, here's your right leg, and just walk outside and start talking to women. Literally. That's it. What are some good disqualifiers you use? A lot of it has something to do with me disqualifying her or disqualifying the relationship in the future. So I will always say stuff like, me and you won't work out. And then whatever reason I come up with in the moment with that particular girl. You see, that's why we can't work out. You always say stuff like that. You see, that's why we can't work out. You're always wearing Crocs. You see, that's why we can't work out. You're actually a real life blonde, but you keep dyeing your hair brunette. That's kind of weird, right? So always disqualify her or the relationship in the future. That's a good way to think about it. I want a roster. Everybody does. What are some other obvious ways to create tension? I would say just teasing. Teasing and flirting is probably like treating her like your bratty, annoying little sister. In general, is the best way to create tension and anxiety. Because the way you treat your annoying, bratty little sister will make women that aren't your bratty, annoying little sister feel like they have to behave in that way. And that's what is the best way to create tension without making it obvious. Does that make sense? Now, I do want to say, though, I wouldn't worry too much about making it obvious or not. When it comes to tension creation in general, the subtlety of it doesn't really come with how obvious it is or not. It comes more with how much of it there is and how little of it there is, depending on the kind of girl you're talking to. But in general, just treating her like, making fun of her, stuff like that, treating her like a bratty little sister. Can we get a taste of the self-belief course right here? No, it's already free. Go get that. Like, you lazy fuck. Go and get it. Go, literally go register for it. I'm not going to repeat everything I said here. That's not going to happen. That's why I made the course, so I don't have to keep repeating myself. He means it's for girls first. She might have the fear of missing out on trying out other guys. Oh, is that what he meant? Oh, okay. In that case, that's an entirely different thing. My God, that's an entirely different thing. But if she has okay, so here's the thing. I already made videos. Okay, I took down those videos, didn't I? But I already made videos about this. Every girl you sleep with for the first time, assuming she was a virgin when you slept with her, will have that fear of missing out. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. And there's a good chance you don't have the ability to beat that need she's going to have to be curious for other things, for other people. Does that make sense? She's going to think to herself at some point, if it's this good with this guy, how good can it be with other people? Right? Hopefully for you, it doesn't get much better. If it gets much better with other people, you'll never hear from her again. Right? So, yeah, good luck, Charlie. That's just how it is. That's why I keep telling you, get with girls that have some experience. And then, if you can't match up to those girls, then that means your experience is lacking. Go get some experience yourself. You'll be fine. The pickup science is clever, bro. That's lit. Indeed. Makes sense. Thanks. No problem. Odogu, I these lives are great, man. These are going to be a consistent thing now. Hopefully. Let's see how I do it. I just pop in here whenever. Usually it's after I'm done with like my coaching calls of the day, or I'm done filming videos for TikTok or whatever. Then I just pop in here before it gets dark. That's really my window, is between when I'm done with the first half of my day till when it's sunset, I guess, is when my window is. And then I just go from there. So yeah, hopefully it's consistent. Hopefully we keep going with this. Does that initial nervousness before cold approach ever go away? No, not really. It just turns into excitement later on. So I still get that same feeling. It's the same physical feeling. Your heart skipping a beat, palm getting sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomiting on a sweater already, mom's spaghetti. Like that whole thing still works like that. The difference is how you interpret it. So when you're starting out, it's going to feel more like fear. It's going to feel more like, oh, I hope I don't mess up here. I hope I don't do something wrong. I hope she doesn't reject me and smack me across the face, blah, blah. At my level, it's more like, oof, I must be really attracted to this girl if I feel like like my body is tingling right now. Like you ever had that feeling? Like you walk across the street, and you see a woman so fine, like an entire jolt of electricity comes from your spine. That's like the feeling whenever you're about to walk up to a girl every time. But now it's like excitement. It's like, oh, I can't wait to see how this goes. Right? It's very fun. It's like the moment before you walk into a movie theater and you're about to watch a movie you've been waiting for like 4 years, right? Very fun. Very, very fun. Women don't feel that way. What feeling are we talking about? The one I just talked about? Yes, they do. They feel like 10 times worse, literally. If there's any other thing we're talking about, let me know. Let's see. Will an ex always come back if you level up? Nah, not necessarily. Well, see, okay, so this is that red pill thinking of whenever you level up, the girl will come back. She'll regret leaving you, blah, blah, blah. Not necessarily. Girls leave for a specific reason. Women are designed to test out a particular thing out of you, a particular kind of weakness, right? If the weakness they test out, they observe is still there later, even after you've bossed up, they're not coming back. They don't care. Does that make sense? If you were a nervous wreck when she was with you, and that was the reason she couldn't feel safe with you and she left you, you making more money doesn't make you a safer bet now. In fact, if anything, it makes you more dangerous because now you're a nervous wreck with a lot of money. That's terrible, right? That's a terrible thing. So if you don't fix the exact problem that you had before she left, she's not coming back. That's a lie. That's a big lie. Great M verse. No problem. Thank you. Appreciate it. How many approaches have you made and what's your shooting percentage? I have no idea what my approaches are. I would say it like this though. I've honed in more in the last especially 4 years to what I really like. So I have a much higher rate of success than before the 4 years. Like I was probably getting struck out every maybe 7 out of 10 times before. Now it almost feels like every girl I talk to, I'm getting somewhere with, right? I'm at least getting a phone number. Does that make sense? Because A, I know what I like. B, I know how to talk. I know what I'm doing in general. But C, I know how to pick them, right? So after doing something for so long, the patterns just begin to show up. And I believe at this point, my instincts are just trained on a subconscious level to just know what to do and what to say. Like, okay, for instance, I'll give you an example. I dated this girl back in 2022 for like 8 months, something like that. And the funny story about it is that I had approached her at the exact same place 3 different times without me realizing. I didn't realize I had approached her 3 different times at the exact same place. And, gets crazier, I had used the exact same line all 3 times. We were about 3 months into our relationship when she told me, she began to ask me questions about the beginning of our relationship and was like, how did you know that eventually I would cave in? I'm like, what do you mean eventually? She's like, yeah, the first 2 times you approached me, I said, sorry, I can't, goodbye. And the 3rd time, you just knew the 3rd time was the charm. Is that it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you don't remember? You approached me 2 different times before. I'm like, really? How'd those go? And I used the exact same line on her. She's like a, 5'10" redhead, right? She looks kind of like Bella Thorne, if Bella Thorne was a little taller. Delicious looking woman, right? Massive pasty tits. Great. Anyway, I had apparently gone up to her and said the exact same line. I went, excuse me, miss, weird question. Don't mean to bother you. How tall are you? And every time she would answer me the same way, she would be like, oh, I'm 5'8". And I'd be like, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Listen, I get it. You're a tall girl. You want to shave some inches off. But trust me, I'm going to like you better the taller you are. How tall are you for real? And that's the same line I use on every girl that is taller and has a certain look. Not every tall girl, but like some girls I don't. A lot of girls I don't. But for whatever reason, some girls, my mind is just like, use that line. This is the line that's going to work. For whatever reason. And apparently I had used that line on her 2 occasions before. Didn't even remember. And then I used it the 3rd time, I got her. Until this day, I'm still like fuzzy about the first 2 times I met her. I'm like, oh, really? That's so interesting. So I said that to say this, right? The point of me saying that is this. At some point, the more you do it, your brain just goes on autopilot. You just know what to do. And it'll just work every time. Like it'll feel like it at least, right? So yeah, it's a numbers game and an experience thing. Girl wants me, but saw me talk to hotter girls. I'm expecting a test. How to prepare? What mentality? Nonchalance and playfulness. That's it. And when she eventually comes at you and she's like, "I saw you talking to that other girl." Yeah, don't worry about it. I was thinking about you the whole time, babe. Nonchalance, playfulness. Always brush it off with playfulness. The moment you start trying to have a serious conversation about it, you failed. You have failed completely because you've entered the realm of emotion with them. That's the last thing you should be doing. You know what I mean? Playfulness, nonchalance. One of my friends is deep in the provider mindset. I'm trying to get him to get out of that. Good luck to you, man. Probably won't happen. It's unfortunate, but it's true. A lot of men will never level up. You can't help it. It is what it is. Most men find a weird safety and comfort in being the simp, right? Because they don't have the balls to be the pimp. Because like it takes balls to be a pimp. Going from simp to pimp is like an effort in ballsitude. If that word even exists. You got to think about it like this. It's all about the level of risk you're willing to take and how often you're willing to take it and how much anxiety you're willing to take on. Does that make sense? Most men don't have the balls to take on a lot of anxiety like that. Most men are just straight pussy. It is what